Member for Victoria Swan Lake.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to speak in favour of this motion that was submitted by my colleague, the member for Burnaby-Deer Lake. And there's a number of points I wish to raise this morning about why governments in advanced economies like ours should take adult education, lifelong learning, and workforce skills investment by government and employers much more seriously if they wish to remain prosperous. The consequences of failing to invest in the skills of people are real, Mr. Speaker, and the opportunity costs of missing out on capital investment in the global knowledge economy in which we live in are also real, Mr. Speaker. Many industries of the 21st century simply cannot take root where the skills and innovation of their domestic workforce does not support such investment, and that's the risk that we have here in British Columbia. The research is clear at the OECD level and at individual levels of industrial countries, that higher rates of literacy and numeracy, improved language proficiency is what enables individuals to access post-secondary education, acquire specialized skills, and earn more and contribute more to their countries and their economies and raise their families and lift them out of poverty. This is what is critical also, Mr. Speaker, to creating a more socially just and socially cohesive society where there are opportunities to get ahead and move out of poverty. So, in light of such undeniable conclusions from economic and social research, the question is, why is this province, why is this BC Liberal government reducing access for low-income workers, immigrants, and refugees to adult education and to ESL learning, especially when the case is so strong to do more? Why did the BC Liberals, for example, cancel the Education Guarantee Program that removed tuition fee barriers for adults wishing to upgrade their high school and then become eligible to get into college or a trade? Was the program failing? No, it wasn't. In 2008, the year in which it was introduced, upon the recommendations, I might add, by our former Attorney General, Jeff Plant, there were 18,000 adults involved in adult education in BC, of which only 3,200, or 18%, were considered graduated adults. They had a high school diploma, but they lacked the ability to be eligible to get into college and higher education. By 2013, the 5th anniversary of this program, there were 24,000 adult students in the province of British Columbia, of which 12,300, 51%, Mr. Speaker, were graduated adults. In other words, removing the tuition fee barrier for graduated learners needing to upgrade to get into post-secondary education was being accessed by the people who needed access to get opportunities to have a better life for themselves. That's what was happening, Mr. Speaker. So what's been the impact of cancelling the Education Guarantee? Well, enrollment gains that saw tens of thousands of British Columbians get into graduated learning programs rather than merely thousands and get out of poverty are set to retreat. There are now diminished opportunities to upgrade high school coursework in urban and rural communities across BC. The province's $9 million cut, this is the scale of the cutback that we're talking about, the impact is much, much larger, Mr. Speaker, has seen large school districts like Surrey cancel offerings for course upgrades. Vancouver School Board has shuttered adult learning centres like the Roberts Centre. Salmon Arm trustees have closed adult ed centres in Salmon Arm, Enderby, Armstrong, and Sicamous. That's what's happening out there, Mr. Speaker, on the first-year anniversary of this misguided program cut that the Liberals rammed through the legislature. This is a perilous development, and curiously, it's completely at odds with the government's own skills blueprint. Let me quote from that document, Mr. Speaker. Quote, about 530,000 young people will enter the job market over the next 10 years. Our goal, i.e. the government's, is to make sure British Columbians have a seamless plan from elementary to high school through post-secondary education and right into the workforce. We also need to provide more support to those who face unique challenges, such as at-risk youth, Aboriginal youth, and persons with disabilities. So more support is called for by the Jobs Plan. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Advanced Education provide less support, Mr. Speaker. This is a government that can't get its story straight and can't get its act together and is closing the doors of opportunities for those who need them most in our province. That's why it's so disappointing that they've cancelled this program. Adult education, Mr. Speaker, should be seen as a safety net in this province. You know, 80% of kids finish high school in the timely completion by the time they're age 18. 1 in 5 do not, for a variety of reasons. But by age 20 to 24, that graduation rate changes to 92%. That shows how essential adult education is, Mr. Speaker. We still leave 1 in 12 out. We still leave 1 in 12 out, but adult education is critical for those people to get back into the workforce.
Thank you.
This government is closing the doors on them, and it's going to cost the society and the economy of British Columbia much, much more than the value of that cutback, Mr. Speaker.